No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Well, good afternoon, Bronco Nation. Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show here from ExtraMile Arena. Fans just now making their way. The gates are open into ExtraMile Arena here in downtown Boise, the campus of Boise State University, as the Broncos kicking off Mountain West play against the Air Force Falcons here at ExtraMile Arena. We bring you live to the media corner, I guess. We're not courtside. The media corner here at ExtraMile Arena. He is Abe Jackson. You're going to hear him on the call with Bob Beeler coming up in about 24 minutes over on 670 KBOI. My name is BJ Rains, and conference play, Abe Jackson. Yeah. It's a little pre-Christmas start, kind of rare.
It is, yeah. Well, they 2 extra games this year, instead of 18, you're playing everybody in conference once, which I think is nice. I mean, you look at the schedule, and there were some things some big discrepancies. Maybe you don't have to have San Diego State come to your building, but you have to go there. I mean, so I like it that you're playing everybody twice. It starts a little bit earlier, but I like it.
I do too. I know some people, the San Diego States of the world, some teams like the smaller conference games so they can, schedule differently in the non-conference. And I know a lot of people saying, it's going to impact the net rankings and all this because you're having to play 2 more conference games, which may not necessarily help you and all that, but a lot of the games you're getting rid of are non-D1 games or bye games anyway. I don't see it being that big of a difference. And I thought Nevada had a big gripe last year, losing the league by 1 game, and Utah State, who won the league, did not have to play in Reno. I mean, it directly impacted the league champion.
It does. It really does. And I mean, it's your conference. You should play every team in your conference. And so on both courts, if you have that ability to do so. And so I like it. And there's still enough games in the non-conference that you can schedule a hard schedule if you want to. So I like it. I think everyone's going to get used to it, and I think we'll just move forward. I like it.
What do you make of this conference? I mean, obviously not going to get 6 teams in the tournament like last year.
No.
Boise State, the 3rd highest team in the net right now at 52, I think it is. So only 2 right now, Mountain West teams in the top 50 of the net. New Mexico's had a couple nice wins, but a bad loss to New Mexico State. San Diego State, a couple nice wins. Utah State's got the gaudy record, but maybe not necessarily the quality of wins. And Nevada, I think, had a couple nice wins, but also a game or two they'd like to have back. It just seems like couple, decent teams at the top, but overall not quite as good as last year.
No, last year was really deep. I mean, I think you could have looked at about 8 teams that could have beaten anybody on any given night, and that's why 6 of them got into the NCAAs. This year, I think you got 5, and then it's a steep drop off after that, and that's why I think the over under for the NCAA teams this year is 2.5. That's my guess. And so, in Air Force is one of those bottom teams. San Jose, one of those bottom teams. Wyoming, one of those bottom teams. So you take a look at this game this afternoon, it could be a start to 3 games in a row to start out conference for the Broncos.
And I do think there is some optimism with Vance Wahlberg at Fresno that he can eventually get it going there. They've looked better. They hung with San Diego State for a half there in Fresno earlier 2 weeks ago. I think Sundance Wicks at Wyoming, I think, has a different style of basketball and is doing some things. And I think there's some optimism there for the future. But you're right. Right now, these need to be 3 wins.
Yep.
And I actually kind of like the way it sets up. The kind of sneaky, tough road games to Wyoming and San Jose that later in the season might be a little easier to overlook. Get those out of the way early.
Get them out of the way, and then you just can't be looking towards San Diego State because they'll be the next game. After these 3, they'll be the next one. But if you get these 3, you start conference 3-0, even just mentally. And I get that we just talked about you got to play everybody, right? So maybe the back end will be a little tougher than the front end. But to start out conference 3-0, or instead of maybe 2-1 or 1-2 playing these tough games,
yep.
I mean, mentally, that's a huge advantage. You're 3-0 and San Diego State comes into this building on a Saturday afternoon. I mean, that could be a big crowd and a really big game.
And then UNLV at home after that. I mean, they could be 5-0 in conference play when they go to Logan on the 11th of January. So overall, 8-3 in the non-con. We talked about it on the post-game show a little bit, but 2 quad 1 wins, although the St. Mary's one is hanging on. They're number 50 right now, so they're hanging on to quad 1 there. But overall, you get the St. Mary's.
They need to beat Utah State today.
That is a big game.
Today or tomorrow, one of those
tonight,
two.
I believe.
Tonight,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, St. Mary's, Clemson, 2 nice wins. The Boston College one is the one you'd like to have back. But overall, how do you feel about the 8-3 non-con?
You feel good. I don't think you feel great about it, but I think you feel good. And a lot of the feeling depends on what does Clemson and St. Mary's do for the rest of the year. And also San Francisco. I mean, if San Francisco keeps winning games as well, I mean, that's also not going to be as bad a loss as maybe some people thought it was right off the bat. But, I feel good about it. I don't feel great. I feel good. But a lot of it just comes down to conference, especially this year where there's not going to be 6 teams that get in, and maybe you're at that 5 or 6 6th team that the NCAA is looking at. So then they really take a look at your non-conference and what you did with two, maybe 2.5, 3 teams that get into the NCAA tournament. A lot of it's just going to come down to how you perform in conference.
I guess Todd says it's tomorrow night. I thought it was tonight, but I guess they do play tomorrow night for SMU and Utah State. Okay, you said you feel good, not great. What about what you've seen in the 11 games on the court? What makes you feel good but not great?
Well, what makes me feel good is kind of what also doesn't make me feel good is that they're scoring a bunch of points. They're averaging 80 points a game, and they're shooting 56% from 2 on the season. But what doesn't make me feel good is the 30% from 3. But usually if you're only shooting 30% from 3, you're not scoring 80 points a game. So they're finding a way to overcome not a great shooting start to this season. And we're getting to that point in the season right now where maybe that's just kind of what this team is. The first few games, you can take a look at it and say, they're just having some off nights. But, we're 11 games in. They're shooting 30% from 3. This might just be who they are. They're not going to be a great 3-point shooting team, but they're going to find a way to score a bunch of points, either getting to the free throw line. They're averaging just under 20 points a game from the free throw line, and then also offensive rebounds. If you don't shoot the ball that well, how do you score points? Give yourselves a bunch of extra opportunities. So I like what the Broncos are doing offensively, but I also don't like that they're not shooting the ball well.
And it's crazy, too, because a lot of times in basketball, if you're a good 3-point shooting team, free throw shooting and 3-point shooting usually goes together. If you're a good free throw shooting team, usually you're a good shooting team, a good 3-point shooting team. They are number 22 in the country in free throw percentage at 78.5%. Like you said, great sign. Getting to the line a lot, making a lot of free throws in close games, that's going to be huge, especially a guy like Tyson who can get to the line pretty much anytime he wants. But, as you said, 279th in the country at 30.4%. Usually those correlate, so it's a little odd how bad they are.
Usually, but the reason that they don't is because you got to take a look at who's shooting all your free throws. The guys shooting all your free throws aren't the guys shooting the threes.
They got big guys that can shoot free throws.
Cardenas isn't getting to the line a whole bunch of times. Meadows gotten there kind of medium, but you got Tyson, who's getting there a bunch. You got Stanley, who's getting there a bunch. I mean, it's your 4 and your 5 men who are the ones getting to the line and knocking them down.
That's true. Any other individuals, good, bad, anything you want to point out from non-con? I know R.J. Keene's been a big story the last couple games, stepping up. I've thought the last couple games, Omar Stanley has looked a little more like himself, which is a big sign as well.
He had that, and that just makes me feel good because, being around the program and being around the guys, I mean, I get to know them, and Omar Stanley's like one of the best dudes. When he interviews, when I run into him on the road in the hotels, one of the nicest guys. And to see him struggling, not only are you like, oh, you're a basketball fan, but you're like, I just want him to do well because he's such a good dude.
Yeah.
So seeing him perform well in the last couple games has really been nice.
Meadow continues to be the kind of main three-point threat. He was 4 of 11, I think, in the last game. But I think you just want that guy to keep letting it fly, and the numbers are going to even out.
You have to, because if you don't even have a threat from 3, then that makes it even worse of your 2-point shooting. So having Andrew Meadow, even if he goes 4 out of 11, which isn't a terrible percentage, it's not great, but it's not awful. But he just he has to still shoot him. You got to keep shooting the 3 to just make yourself a threat out behind the arc.
What is the biggest challenge with the Air Force Princeton offense?
It's finding that balance between just going out and playing, but also thinking. You have a lot of coaches that say, stop thinking, just go out and play. We're playing basketball. But against Air Force, it's a little bit different because there's so much movement that you don't see any other time during the season that you have to go out and play, but you also have to have a really strong mental capacity in this game. So finding that balance between not overthinking, but thinking enough is a challenge against Air Force.
It's interesting because kind of in football, too, they kind of grind the clock and take a lot of the possessions off, and you get less possessions in a game. They really do you could, as you said, play defense for 25 seconds, and they can hit you on a backdoor for a layup. You really got to be disciplined for the full shot clock.
Well, defensive rebounding is key in any game, but really key in this game. If you're in a defensive stance for 25 to 30 seconds, and then you give up an offensive rebound, and you have to be in a defensive stance 25 to 30 seconds again, I haven't done all the math, but I'm guessing that the shooting percentage in that second time that Air Force gets the ball is way higher than in that first one.
So what do you want to see Abe Jackson in terms of Boise State starting 1-0 in conference play today?
I just want to see him dominate Air Force. I mean, I think that this team is a veteran team that has a lot of experience playing the Falcons. Bob looked at the numbers of Alvaro Cardenas over his years at San Jose. He didn't tell me the numbers, but he said he had fantastic games against Air Force. So you have Cardenas with experience, Keene with experience, Meadow, Stanley, Degenhart. So you got 5 guys who have a lot of experience playing against this type of team. So I really don't think that the Broncos are going to have any trouble. But that being said, you do also have to knock down shots.
And don't forget, in last year's game at ExtraMile Arena against Air Force, Boise State was losing 27-25 late in the first half, with like 5 minutes to go. They went on a huge run. I think they still won by about 30 points.
Yep.
But it was a scary game there for a while. Air Force was hitting some shots, and it's the hard. I mean, I know I got to let you go, but I'll just say, it's got to be super hard when you talk no transfer portal, no NIL. Air Force has lost their best 2 guys each of the last 2 years. And I talked to their coach, Joe Scott, at Media Days and for my Lindy story over the summer. And he's like, hey, if we had those 2 guys back, we would have been picked top half in the conference this year. 2 15-point-a-game guys, both transferred out 2 years in a row. That would have been, juniors on this team to supplement some of these seniors. So they got a very young team. Ethan Taylor, a couple veteran guys, but a lot of sophomores playing some key minutes. And there's just not a lot in this new era of college athletics that Joe Scott can do about it.
It's always been tough for Air Force to get players there just because of the different lifestyle that you have to be on campus and play for the Falcons. But now with NIL, and there's actually a monetary part of this pulling kids away from your school, that makes it even tougher. So I don't know what Air Force is going to do, but I think they're going to have a few rough years ahead of them.
All right, Abe, 14 minutes. We'll hear you and Bob over on 670 KBOI. We'll hope to catch up with you on the post-game show, but if not, Merry Christmas to you and your family, and looking forward to San Jose. I'll be making the trip to San Jose on the way down to the Fiesta Bowl, so we'll pregame in San Jose, get to do it, but hopefully quick post-game. I don't want to make you have to stick around on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh, it's all good, man.
If we can make it work today, we'll get you hopefully a 40-point win, a nice quick post-game show, and get home and watch some more football tonight.
I like it. Sounds good. Thanks,
there he is. Thanks. There he is, Abe Jackson. Appreciate him for joining us. Abe Jackson, again, you can hear him coming up, 670 KBOI. We're still – I think we're still on. Abe just pulled our we're good. I just took Abe's paycheck back after he just kicked the cord there and almost took us off the air. But I think you can hear us okay. I think we're still on. I think we're good. If you can hear us okay, blink once, I guess, if you can hear us. But we are live here at ExtraMile Arena, Boise State. getting set to take on Air Force. We're going to hear from Leon Rice. We're going to hear from Alvaro Cardenas coming up in a little bit as we show you a live look at Boise State get set for their Mountain West Conference opener against Air Force. I'm not seeing any comments, so I guess we're still on the air and everything's okay here. Perfect. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. I appreciate all you guys that are sticking with us, by the way. I know this is not the most viewed pregame show of all time, probably. It's a Saturday afternoon. It's Air Force. A lot of people are watching football today. So for the 380 of you that still decided to give us a watch here for a few minutes, we really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, to us, to our sponsors, that even against Air Force on a Saturday afternoon, you make it part of your day to hang out and watch Bronco Nation News here with us. So we do appreciate all you guys. Thank you, Roy. This person right here has 2 free tickets to the game. Cannot make it today. DM this person on Twitter. Number 4229 Boise State if you want to go to the game today. Looks like DM that person on Twitter, and maybe you can get lucky and get some spots here. So going to hear from Leon Rice in a second. But first, Western Collective, the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer. Get them if you're coming to the game today at ExtraMile Arena. They've got that Horseshoe Golden Ale on tap. And if you're not going to the Fiesta Bowl, join them at Western Collective's Brewery in Garden City for the Fiesta Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl watch party in Garden City at the brewery. Great food and drink specials, and you help out the Horseshoe Collective in the process. RoePaint.com, our title sponsor, ROEPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Check them out, RoePaint.com. Concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, all that good stuff. Check out our title sponsor, RoePaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, and again, we'll hear from Leon Rice shortly. So we get you set for Boise State and Air Force, but you're watching a free program here, so we take a couple quick breaks to thank our sponsors. Like Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. You might think you like your bank. I guarantee you'll like ICCU better. Make the switch today. What are you waiting for? Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. After the game, we're going to pick our Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game. If you have a score prediction, if you have a thought on who the big breakout player is going to be today, who's your pregame Matt Bauscher player to watch in today's game, we'll give you the Bauscher Player of the Game coming up on the postgame show. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. When you buy a home with Matt, you get to meet everybody in that picture. It's tremendous customer service. You'll love the team at Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. And Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Check them out as well. Locations across the Treasure Valley, across the state of Idaho. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Shopridleys.com. Ridley's Family Markets. And don't forget, Ridley's one of our major sponsors for our private jet trip for 2. The VIP basketball experience, it is back. We're heading to Las Vegas for the big game on February 4th. If you want to go on a private jet for 2, get 2 tickets to the game. You get a night at Circa Resort and Casino. Get to ride in a couple of limos. Truly is an awesome experience. You got to be a yearly subscriber to BNN. So if you're already a yearly subscriber, you're automatically entered. If you are not a yearly subscriber, right now is a perfect time to jump in. $50. $50, BNN 50 deal. It's all it costs for a 1-year subscription to BNN. BroncoNationNews.com. You can sign up $50. Use the promo code BNN50 deal, and you're automatically entered to win a private jet trip for 2, courtesy of Ridley's Family Markets, some of our other great sponsors as well. But we're live here on the pregame show. The Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. BJ Rains with you. Jaden Finch here as well. I know a lot of you folks are watching football. We'll check a score update of that SMU game. Last I looked, it was 28-3. Right now, the score is... Oh, I got to turn off my Wi-Fi here, of course, because it's not connected. Boise State will play the winner of SMU Penn State. Looks like that is almost assuredly going to be Penn State. Is now 31-3. Penn State has second and goal also, 31-3. And I don't know about you guys, but watching that game in the first half before I left, I feel more confident than I already did that Boise State's going to win that game. I think Boise State has a really good chance to beat Penn State. I think it's a good matchup for Boise State. I don't think Penn State did much of anything offensively in the first half. I thought that it was just the quarterback Jennings for SMU just literally tossing the ball right to Penn State. So it probably makes it even better for Boise State that this is a blowout because the point spread's going to be bigger, more talk on how great Penn State is, and they're going to blow out Boise State, and that's right. That's going to play right into Boise State's hand because I think that Penn State's going to be super confident coming into this game, and I think Boise State matches up pretty well and has a chance to win this game. I really, really do. So I'm looking forward to that game. Can't wait. Looking forward to the rest of the games today. But the big game today, Boise State and Air Force coming up here in 36 minutes. The head coach of the Broncos, Leon Rice, his thoughts on the start of conference play.
Conference season.
Well, it does. Conference games always have a different vibe and a different feel to them. And so first of all, we need a great crowd. I mean, it's a Saturday afternoon. You can go Christmas shopping afterwards. And now, we played it nice and early enough that, you can have a whole day. So they always, Air Force always presents a unique set of problems, and the way they play is so unique. And, so it can be a really, really tough, especially mental game because of all the stuff that you have to see and things that are different that you have to see.
I know you've done that a couple years ago. I remember you played like early December because of a convention or something in Vegas, but playing a pre-Christmas conference game, I guess, just a little different feel, I guess.
Yeah, through my career, I've had some of those. I remember, way back in the day, we played some November games back in the Pac-12, and wow. Yeah, that was crazy. But I like it that we were able to close the book on the preseason and then move on. It doesn't really matter that it, as basketball coaches and players, we kind of have to just play through Christmas a little bit. We get a few days off, but not much. And so it does have we ended the preseason, and now it's time to move on to league, and that's our mindset.
Getting a true home and home now with every team in the conference, just what does that do for the competitive balance in the Mountain West? Yeah, I mean,
there was always that where, you're playing for a league title, but you didn't have competitive balance in who you played, and it made a big difference. I remember that COVID year, we played, even though you were no fans, we played 4 of the top 5 on the road.
For 2 games.
So 8 of our 10 games against the best teams were on the road. So there was, that was a skewed competitive balance. But, through the years, when you didn't play 20 games, there was big advantages, disadvantages. And I think there was some of that last year even. You always could make a case for it when you don't play 20. But now you play 20, you take that out of the equation. It did, our league had done some great things in the non-league in the years prior, and that's why we were, a lot of the coaches wanted less league games. So, I got both sides of the argument. I get it. But now with more leagues going to more games, it's almost that you have to play a lot of league games otherwise, because there's just not enough inventory out there to go get great games.
What do you think of the league where it sits right now compared to last year?
It's hard to tell, Bob, because it's one of those things you watch them on tape, and until you go and play them all, you're like, it's hard to tell who's better than they were last year, who's not. Plus, there's always those situations where some teams maybe start playing better in January, and you see that a lot. And I mean, you saw that last year with UNLV. I mean, they were one of the best teams in the league when it came to league play. Preseason, they really struggled. So that one's a hard one to see clearly right now until you run the league.
What about numbers-wise, in terms of, you guys had so many opportunities for like quad 1, quad 2 games in league last year, and didn't get credit for them, but just right. How do you feel?
Right, that's the thing about the stupid net. There's some teams that I'm looking at that and they're like, wait, that team has not won a quad 1 game or a quad 2 game. They haven't won one, and their net is in the 30s, because they ran up the score at home on a bunch of bad teams, or somebody that they were a lot better than. And so it's just there's so many flaws in just that number system that you can't get too caught up in that. You just gotta, you start looking at that and overanalyze it, and you're like, you just got to be like, forget it. You just got to go do your own work, and that's what we focus on is just do your own work. You guys hash out all that stuff, the goofy stuff, but it always seems like they'll try to rationalize, like, well, you got 7 road wins, but they were all the league, well, why? What does that matter? They were good teams that you beat. And so that's out the door, out our minds. Our job is the one right in front of us, and that's the Air Force that is always a really, really hard team to play.
What's it like to sit down and look at like a RJ Keene stat line after a game? Because you're like, only 4 points or whatever, but then you're like, 10 rebounds and 5 offensive rebounds and 4 assists. Like, what's it like to kind of, just process his
Well,
his
we've
stat
got
line?
a whole system of evaluation that's not based on points or just points or, that's great. You need all those things, but those intangibles and those winning plays that we talk about and that we show our team a lot, those are so valuable. And RJ's doing that at a high level. And when you look at my history here, we've always had guys that have been able to do that. Rob Heyer, Jeff Luriaga, Max did a lot of that. Where it's just those intangibles that maybe the world doesn't see, and sometimes coaches don't see it. That's the hard thing about players like that. They get misevaluated some. And when you start really digging in, you figure out, well, that's why a lot of teams win, because they have guys like that. And what he's doing for the team is just awesome.
I know how highly you guys think of Alvaro. So when you're a new guy by nature, you probably want to fit in, right? And you saw like in the second half of the game the other night, like it didn't look like he was fitting in. It looked like he was trying to take over the game there for a little bit. So to have him almost be kind of that wrecking ball, was there anything said at halftime, or how much do you need him to be that guy?
Yeah, no, he is. That's his personality. That's what I love about him. It's natural, And sometimes you just find guys like that are just natural leaders. They walk in a room, it's their room. And, I've met a lot of guys like that in my lifetime, and he's got that. And but he does it in a way that's really, really productive. He does it in a way that's respected by his peers and by the coaches, and he's just got a competitive fire, and he's a hard worker and never wants to, so everybody will listen when a guy like that takes leadership, and he's a good one.
You've got a number of folks that haven't played against Air Force before.
Oh, yeah.
How do you get them quickly up to speed?
Yeah,
that's Cardenas has played against him.
Yeah, exactly. That is always the challenge, because a big part of the Air Force thing, and we've done good things against them and we've done bad things against them, and you just learn through the processes. But you gotta. There's a certain amount of things you have to be able to do, but you don't want your guys overthinking, and so that's always a fine line between that. You got to just be able to play basketball, but if you're not thinking some, they can make you look foolish.
How impressive was that alley-oop? I mean, Alvaro threw it at the freaking rafters, and Omar went and got that.
Yeah, that's good, because there's a synergy developing there, and what I'm seeing too is we're starting to make each other better by letting each other play to each other's strengths and helping each individual play to his strengths. And we got Meadow more good looks. We got we're getting the ball to the right guys in the right spots and making the game easier for them. And that's the synergy that we've been looking for. And some of it just has to come through getting reps together and playing together more. And that I think we're seeing a growth there.
Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. We're going to hear from Alvaro Cardenas. We're going to show you Boise State retake the floor for warm-ups here momentarily, but you're watching a free show on YouTube, the Lithia Florida Boise pregame shows. We got to thank a few of our sponsors that make this show possible. We appreciate all you guys for sticking with us and watching today on a Saturday afternoon when there's a lot going on, including football and a lot of other things. But a nice crowd filing in here to ExtraMile Arena. We'll show you them shortly, but Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978, part of the Boise State home team. Check them out, view their full inventory, and that's whether it's a spa, whether it's a pool table, whether it's a sauna. They got you at the spateam.com. The all-wheel drive sale is going on at Lithia Florida Boise. The weather is getting cold and icy, and it's time to go to Lithia Florida Boise for the next vehicle. They're one of the biggest supporters of Boise State athletics. 6 student athletes on NIL deals. They got coaches, administrators, a lot of folks. So highly recommend you check out Lithia Ford of Boise. And their website is lithiafordboise.com. View their full inventory of vehicles. Make your decisions ahead of time. Pick the 2 or 3 you like. Go test drive them, and you're on your way. Lithia Ford of Boise. Rain's family love an RF-150, and you will as well. Again, Lithia Ford of Boise. Again, we'll show you a live look at warmups in just a minute when the Broncos retake the floor. TacoBellWorks.com. They are hiring. Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. They are hiring. So if you're looking for a new job, check out Taco Bell. TacoBellWorks.com. TacoBellWorks.com. They are hiring. You can check them out. Great promotional opportunities, free food while you work, half your wages the next day after your shift. Check them out online, TacoBellWorks.com. We appreciate the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, big-time supporters of BNN, and we appreciate them. Check them out. Transportation Compliance Service, check them out as well. Again, a live look, waiting for Boise State to take the floor. We'll show you that momentarily when they come back out. Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. If you're looking for a new job, how about the trucking industry? Maybe you haven't thought about the trucking industry, but it's a booming industry right now. All the DOT, overweight, all the permits that you need, they can help you out and get you out. You're towing that first load in no time. Check them out, Transportation Compliance Service. And get your Fiesta Bowl gear at the Blue and Orange Store. The Fiesta Bowl gear at the Blue and Orange Store, including the unofficial motto, "Please count us out." Spencer Danielson made the comment, which a lot of people probably are going to count them out in this game against Penn State. And now 140 members of the team are going to be wearing these shirts thanks to Travis Hawks and company. And you can buy that shirt right now. They've got it on the tables at the Blue and Orange Store. If you want to go to the Blue and Orange Store, check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Online, you can order from anywhere in the world, but they've got them right there. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. All your Fiesta Bowl gear, make sure you check them out at the Blue and Orange Store. We're taking your predictions for the score. We're taking your player of the game. Tom's got 78-61. The Ken Pom projection tonight, folks, is Boise State 78, Air Force 59. So you're pretty close. 78-59, a 19-point win. You would love to just have one of those classic 40-point wins tonight. Blowout Air Force. Help your metrics. Folks, I hate to say it, but this is a historically bad Air Force team. Historically bad Air Force team. So Boise State shouldn't have too much trouble with this. Hey, the Broncos are taking the court. Check them out, John Mallory. The Broncos are taking the court. Check them out as Boise State comes out to a round of applause. Just so thankful John Mallory is watching our show and not sitting next to me. Are we really surprised John Mallory decided not to come today and would rather watch football? Just, hey, where are you at, Johnny? Here's our press row. Where are you at, Johnny? Where are you at, Johnny? John Mallory wants to send the text and have some fun, but he can't come to the game. So enjoy your football today, Johnny. Appreciate you for watching, man. Todd's got 84-52. Let's see here. Unstoppable at home. Yeah, Boise State is pretty good at home. But again, got to win by at least 19 to help the computer metrics. Tom is wanting to defend Extra Mile. Says, let's go. Jim, good to see you. Jim is at the game with his daughter. Go Broncos. Come on down to Extra Mile. Cheer for the Broncos. Good to see Jim in the house tonight. What else we got here? Penn State didn't beat SMU. SMU beat SMU. I mean, I give Penn State a little credit, but yes, I think that Boise State fans should not be overly scared of Penn State. Are they a good team? Yes. Is it going to be a tough game? Yes. But did anything in that game make me say Boise State has no chance of beating Penn State? No. Nope, not at all. That game was Penn State just, not being ready for the environment, the crowd. If Boise State had to go to Penn State, I'd say it's a different story. But a neutral site game, I think Boise State certainly has a puncher's chance there in that one. Alvaro Cardenas, I see his family over there. Pretty cool. Alvaro Cardenas' parents are here all the way from Spain to watch this game tonight. They're in like the third or fourth row behind the bench. Pretty cool that Alvaro Cardenas' family is here. First time to Boise. Let's hear from the transfer point guard, Alvaro Cardenas.
How's the kind of mindset change going into conference play here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously every game matters in non-conference, but we know how tough our conference is. You can't take any team for granted. Everybody can beat you. So, just same mindset we've had all year, just trying to get better every day and keep improving.
I know obviously a lot of teams' rosters change, all that, but just the familiarity you already have with this league, how's that going to help you moving forward here?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, with the transfer portal and everything, things are changing so much. I was actually just talking to teams, and I realized Bo Becker, the center for Air Force, hasn't even played this year, played one game. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to help me, especially with teams like Air Force who, I've played against a lot of times, and their offense, you got to be locked in the whole time. But, yeah, it's definitely going to help me.
8-3 in the non-conference, 2 quad 1 wins. Just how are you guys feeling about where you guys sit going into conference play?
I think we're in a pretty good spot. We still know we have a lot of room to get better, and obviously there was some wins that we should have got that we didn't, but you learn from those. But I think we're in a good spot and continuing to get better.
Best thing through 11 games and the thing you think you guys need to work on the most?
I would say I think our consistency with our mentality, the way we move the ball on offense, I think that's something we struggled a little bit with. I think the ball was sticking a little bit too much at the beginning of the year, and now we're starting to move it a little bit more. Just defensively, that mindset that we have of being the toughest competitors and, controlling the glass and rebounding.
What about three-point shooting? I mean, that's been a little bit of a struggle this year for you guys. Is that just who you guys are now? You're not going to be a team that can hit a lot of threes, or is there room to grow there, or what are you seeing from the outside shooting?
No, I think guys are going to start making shots. Myself, Tyson, even Andrew can shoot it a lot better. Chris Lockett, all those guys. I think we have a lot of good shooters on the team. We just haven't been hitting them yet, but conference is starting now, so hopefully we're starting to make them.
I guess with just that being said, after 11 games, what's your guys' identity? Do we know it yet? Are you still working towards it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we know what we got to do. Like we said, just be the toughest competitors, control the glass, and move the ball on offense. That's kind of our standards. And I think we're getting to that point, and obviously there's still a lot of improvement to be made, but I think we're on the right track.
Just what you can say about this team rebounding. I mean, St. Mary's great rebounding team. A few other teams, I mean, the other night, I think you beat them by, 30 rebounds.
Yeah.
Just what can you say about this team on the board?
Yeah, I think it's a big emphasis that we have here, and the coach is doing an amazing job. I've never seen something like it. Coach Mose does a great job. They clip all of the shots that the other team takes, our shots on offense, and see the job that we did. They track all that stuff, and I think when we play teams like St. Mary's or Clemson that we know are really good rebounding teams, we take that as a challenge. And the thing is, we just got to do that every game, not just those big games.
Alvaro, what kind of, I know we talked about it a little bit after the game the other night, but just kind of what got into you at halftime, and what did you see out of yourself in the second half, and then what that did for everybody else for that matter too?
Yeah, I think I just got a little bit into flow in that second half. Like I said, I felt like I started the game pretty well, and then I got a little bit sloppy towards the last few minutes of the second half. But just my mindset, just being aggressive, making plays for others, and whenever I have to score, I'll do that as well.
Do you think it's through that alley you threw for Omar?
Yeah, I was actually the one on the transition. I was thinking about throwing on off the backboard, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to risk it. Let me just hand it off to him. But the other one, I mean, I just blew by my guy, and I saw him coming. I just throw it up. He's going to do the rest.
Did you think you threw that like a little high? I mean, he went. Omar had to go get that thing.
Yeah, he did, but I know he can jump like that, so I know he was going to get it.
Leon said it. Sorry, Leon said that alley-oop showed a little bit of synergy between you guys. Just how do you say that connection is with Omar?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to click, and I feel like we connected for like 3 times that game in a row, a couple alley-oops. So it's definitely starting to click. And Omar I feel like he's been so much better the past few games. Just not even the shot making, just his intensity, his energy. Like he's moving different on the court. And I think he was maybe overthinking a little bit the first few games of the season. And now he's just, being himself and playing with energy. That's all you can control.
Eye contact.
Well, there he is, Alvaro Cardenas. You can hear the rest of that interview at Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. We put all of our interviews and things up on YouTube, so you can check those out at youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. Eddie says I'm looking a little lonely over there. Yeah, Johnny didn't want to come. Where's John Mallory at? I shouldn't be surprised he chose football over basketball today, but just having fun with Johnny. He's not required to be here today, so looking forward myself to getting home watching some football tonight. But appreciate you guys for checking us out again. This is the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Boise State and Air Force coming up in about 16 minutes. We do have our officials for today's game and the great Vern Harris. Vern must have wanted an evening flight tonight. I'm not sure why you would have picked Boise State Air Force, but Vern Harris, the lead official tonight. Tim Comer, Ian Caldwell, also two of the officials, but good old Vern in the house tonight, so you never know what could happen. But Boise State Air Force coming up in about 15 minutes. Just enough time to go run up to Jackson's and get some snacks and things. Make sure you pick up that Horseshoe Golden Ale. But Jackson's coming in January and February. You can get a hot dog and a soda for $2 when the Broncos score 70 points. When Boise State scores 70, you get a hot dog and a soda for $2 from our friends at Jackson's. And they got their 12 days of Christmas going on right now. So make sure you check them out. See what the free giveaway is using your Let's Go rewards. And that is from our sponsor at Jackson's. Whether it's drinks, snacks, gas, whatever you need, hit up one of the Treasure Valley Jackson's locations. Speaking of food, check out Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out, leanfeastmeridian.com. 10,000 plus combinations, healthy eating options, any kind of diet, whatever you got, check them out. leanfeastmeridian.com. They can take care of you, whether it's steak, chicken, shrimp, fish. leanfeastmeridian.com. They now deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley, so no excuse to not eat healthy. We want some post-game voicemails. We'll take some voicemails on Monday morning show talking about the matchup against Penn State. Whatever you got, speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN. Signature Roofing is the sponsor of that. MySignatureRoofing.com. They've been covering our community for more than 2 decades. Locally owned roofing company, a great company. Check them out. Signature Roofing, MySignatureRoofing.com. And whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an inspection, an estimate, check them out. Signature Roofing, MySignatureRoofing.com. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. We'll be back with the Jackson's postgame show after the game. Boise State getting ready for the national anthem here. We got to jump off the show, but 45-minute free show on YouTube to get you set for Boise State and Air Force. So please support our sponsors. You can go back if you came in late and hear Abe Jackson at the beginning of the show, but all of our great sponsors that make this show free of charge for you on YouTube, please go support them. We would really appreciate that. Please subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deal is that promo code for a $50 1-year subscription, and that gets you entered in to win a private jet trip for 2 to the game in Las Vegas coming up in February. The VIP basketball experience, all you have to do is be a yearly subscriber, and you are automatically entered. So if you're already a yearly subscriber, you're good. If you're a new one, you got to sign up for a yearly subscription. You'll be it's a subscriber benefit that you're in the raffle to try to win a trip for 2 to go to the game in Las Vegas, a night at Circa Resort and Casino, and you get ride around the limo, have a cool dinner. It's going to be a fun night. Looking forward to this. So sign up now, subscribe, have a chance to win that trip on the private jet. That'll do it for the pregame show. The national anthem is coming up. Nice crowd filing in. Tip-off coming up in about 13 minutes. Looks like SMU is about to put this one away, 38-10 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So Boise State, Penn State coming up in the Fiesta Bowl on December 31st. That's going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Go support the sponsors. Subscribe if you can. Give our a video on YouTube or Twitter or X, wherever you're watching from. Give us a free subscribe on YouTube. Give us a like, a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And tell your friends. Go subscribe. Go support the sponsors. And enjoy the game. Boise State and Air Force Broncos looking for a 3rd straight win. Looking to start conference play 1-0. Looking to get a nice little break before the players take a little break for Christmas. Sometimes a little tough game right before you're going home to see your families for a couple days. You got to stay locked in. We'll see if Boise State can get it done today against Air Force. Enjoy the game. And we'll be back on the postgame show, the Jackson's postgame show, coming up after Boise State and Air Force. We appreciate you for checking us out. Enjoy the game. It's on the Mountain West Network today. And we'll be back about 30 minutes after the game with interviews, analysis, and more on the postgame show. Boise State and Air Force coming up. Have a good Saturday. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you afterwards. Bronco Nation News live here at BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.